today. We have new and used enclosed cargo and open utility trailers, along with built-to-order trailers. We service all brands of cargo and utility trailers, installation of hitches, wiring and electric brake controls, and installation of trailer accessories, with locations in Ocala and Ormond Beach to serve all of Central Florida. Call 1-888-622-1816. Again, that's 1-888-622-1816.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Beautiful Monday, Robin. Looks really nice out there.
It does. Gorgeous.
We have an abundance of good weather in Florida.
Yes, we do.
It is simple abundance. It does come pretty simply, right? I mean, we live here. But then again, if you lived where you came from, Wisconsin, I bet you that's beautiful right now.
Yeah, it is. I love everything.
It's snowy and white, and there's probably clothing up there that you can't wear down here right now.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Right?
Clothing.
I like winter clothing. Sarah Von Brannock is on the phone, and I hope I'm saying her name right. She is deemed the Martha Stewart of the Soul by Time Magazine. Mm-hmm. She's an editor, a contributor to Good Housekeeping, the Washington Post, Writers Group, Super Soul Sunday, Oprah, the founder of the Simple Abundance Charitable Fund, and she made history back once upon a time. And I think there were two phrases that I was told are attributed to her. Let me see if I can find them. Authentic Self and the Gratitude Journal. Yeah, those two things are part of the lexicon, Robin,
That's right.
of our society.
Exactly.
Yeah. First published in 1995, Simple Abundance topped the New York Times bestseller list for over 2 years. And we get a chance to speak to Sarah Von Brannock right now. Good morning, Sarah. Thank you for being on the show with us today.
It's my pleasure, Larry. And Robin.
And am I saying your name right, first of all?
Von Brannock, yes, you are.
Okay.
It's Gaelic.
Well, thank you, Robin, for giving me a pronunciation guide, because I would have never got that from there. So where are you calling from?
I'm calling from California right now.
Well, you have abundance
LA.
there, too. That's another abundant state, isn't it?
Yes, we have had an abundance of rain for the last few days.
Okay.
The sun is peeking out now.
365 Days to a Balanced and Joyful Life. So tell me about the book.
Well, this is the 25th anniversary of Simple Abundance. It was originally published in 1995, and it went on to become a bestseller and very beloved by women, particularly because it was everybody's story in 365 days. And a few years ago, it's never been out of print. I'm very grateful to say, but a few years ago, I started getting messages from millennial women, Generation X women, who had picked it up, at the Pink Book, it was known as, and started reading something that spoke to them. And it was an enchanted spell. But when they would get to the end of the chapter, I would make seasonal suggestions, such as order a mail order catalog or watch a VHS movie, and they would be snapped. The spell was broken. So they wrote and said, "Can you update it for younger women? Can you do that?"
Right.
And so then that's what spurred me on to do it. And at first I thought it was just updating the joyful simplicities at the end of every month, but it was much more than that because of the extraordinary times we're living through. So I had to approach it, not as a 25-year-old book, but as the reader today, as a woman today.
Yeah, somebody who could understand it today. So I know you said it was for women, but there's chapter 27, or June 27th, I should say, in your book is called Late Bloomers, and Robin and I could both relate to that, and I'm a man, so I don't think it's just for women. I get that. I mean, Robin and I, we tried really hard when we were younger to make things happen for ourselves, but it really didn't happen until we got older.
I know exactly what you're saying. Well, when I was writing it, I mean, the book is about authenticity, and the term "the authentic self" came from it. And Larry, I didn't know how a man thought, so I wasn't going to presume to be talking about authenticity for men. We did come out with a journey to simple abundance for men, but I had men write the essays. But surely, I mean, the lessons really, or the insights, they're not gender specific. They're for all of us.
No.
It's really, yeah.
Yeah, and I knew that. I think what happens, though, is that we as people, we like to see ourselves in somebody else's story. I don't know why that is, but I do think so. And if we don't, that doesn't mean we don't get something from it. But I think we take away from something. I mean, every time we see a great story of some sort, we pull something out of it. And in this case, there are 365 great stories.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think of myself as a storyteller, more than a journalist type writer. Well, these were the stories that inspired me. And what was so fascinating, Larry and Robin, is that when I discovered I call them women with a past. When I discovered women that had stories, the one thing that broke through and made them able to blossom, even as a late was the idea that they went one more step when they'd gone as far as they could go, but they took that next step, and that was very, very important to me.
And you also have humor in there, too. I mean, I love the day about the hair and also about fashion. I think hair is funny, but it's true.
Well, it is. And Robin, I wanted to say there's nothing in our life that we can't use as a reflection point, a starting point to think about, how we make peace with our hair.
Now that might be women specific. That one might be specifically for women.
Because my hair is never the same. When I get up in the morning, it's always different.
We know it's very mercurial. We know how the hair fits. Yeah.
So as the years have gone by, do you view things as abundant that you didn't think of things abundantly before?
Well, I felt the simple abundance is coming through the prism, the grace of gratitude. And I really know that I've learned that gratitude is so active. It's not a passive grace. And, that the power of it always astounds me, really. And I'm really grateful for that. For every new lesson that way. I think that the impetus, though, the driving force for doing this new version is the world we're living in now. It's rapidly changing, and it's 24/7 and news. And it's just, we don't have any peace. We're constantly surrounded by outside forces. And I really had to say, and we're calling it the new normal. And I really had to say, no, this is not the new normal. There's nothing normal about the way we're living now. So that was the real drive.
There was a time when Robin and I were riding bicycles more than we do now. We should get out more. But anyway, here's the point. We were perhaps going through a difficult time financially, okay? And we were out riding bicycles on this beautiful trail somewhere here in Florida, and we stopped to take a break and to get some water, and we sat on a hillside, and everything was beautiful. And I said to Robin, you know what the funny thing is? If we had $1 million or $2 million, whatever you need, this moment wouldn't be any more beautiful than it is right now. And somehow that realization, the gratitude of just what we had right there, something a millionaire couldn't even buy it, You got to be there to that one. All of a sudden, everything felt better. So we had the abundance right there. It was almost like it was always there, and we didn't realize it.
Yes, that's it. It's the awareness. That's the real blessing. And a millionaire might not have been riding a bike and arriving at that spot when the two of you did. And that's what it's the awareness. That's what we're lacking. Simple Abundance says, I've learned that all we have is all we need in one particular moment. I'm not talking about tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I heard the phone cutting in and out, but I think one of the things I wish people who are depressed, and I'm not trying to trivialize or minimize depression, but especially people who want to commit suicide, I wish they would hear what you just said, that everything you have that you need right today, maybe tomorrow something different needs to be had, but right now you got everything you need for today. Did we lose you? Sarah, you there? I don't hear her, Robin.
No.
Sarah?
She hasn't hung up.
I heard the phone breaking up. I don't know if you can hear us or not. Ooh, now I hear somebody getting a haircut.
Well, should we call her back?
Yeah, something disconnected right there.
Okay.
Yeah, something disconnected. Do we call her? Or does she call us?
She called us in the beginning. I don't know if you want to.
Okay. Is this the line?
Maybe that's the backup line.
All right,
No,
let's see
that's
if we
the
got
backup
it.
line.
Sarah, then that one didn't work either. So how come that didn't work?
I don't know.
Sarah, is that you? Okay. Well, that's not working, Robin.
Now she's calling on the other line.
Okay, all right.
This one right here, the original one.
All right.
863.
Sarah, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened. So I don't know what you heard. The last thing I was trying to say was that I wish because the last thing you said was that everything we need today, we have today. And I wish somebody who was so despondent that they were thinking about suicide would hear those words that you just said.
Oh yeah, yeah. We don't hear them though. But I think the most important thing, when you go through the dark, and we all go through the dark, is that there is so much love there is for you at this moment, and you just need to get through till the darkness goes. As I used to say to my little girl when I'd put her to bed, see you when the darkness goes.
Oh, nice.
I think, but it comes to each of us. And again, like a natural experience is if you've ever waited for the sun to rise, it is actually darker before the dawn comes than it was during the night, and that's the the message that I would love for my readers to have. You have so much. There's so much love. I said in the preface that when I looked back on the journey to Simple Abundance, the first one, writing it, I had to acknowledge that it had been the journey of unanswered prayers, and that mystified me. And it also makes me very grateful. So there really is so much.
And that's one of the things you do in the Simple Abundance Journal of Gratitude. You give people a chance to write down every day whatever it is that's going on in their life for gratitude. But you also have suggestions at the beginning of each month, and at the beginning of the book you have listed a list of overlooked blessings, which I thought that was pretty unusual.
Yeah, and it's such a variety,
exactly.
Getting the right, fortune cookie. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So I think that we don't understand until we've actually gone through a passage that changes us. I don't think we know that we don't think of gratitude as being something in the dark time. And I really wanted to say, this is when gratitude's miracle really happens. I don't know why. I can't give you an explanation. But on those nights that you cry yourself to sleep, gratitude's sitting, at the end of the bed, waiting for you. I wish I could tell you why. I don't know. But that doesn't mean that I haven't discovered through personal experience the wonder of gratitude in the dark times. But it's the little things that really, make a difference. It's like getting drenched in a thunderstorm. The worst thunderstorm I think I was ever in was in Orlando, Florida, and trying to get back to my hotel with my daughter and her dad, and it took us like 5 hours.
Wow!
So when we finally got back and got into dry clothes and went downstairs and had pizza, for dinner. It was like the first thing I wrote in the gratitude journal that night was the dry clothes and the pizza. But I was so grateful for the dry to be out of the rain.
Yeah, I can feel it.
And then when I looked back at it, a year later, I also noted, number 3, it was number 1 on the USA Today book list.
Oh my!
I just think that captures, the idea of every moment is so full.
Oh, I love
if we'll just observe it.
Yeah, I think, boy, the whole thing in the beginning of the Simple Abundance Journal of Gratitude, the missed blessings. What was it called again, Ram?
The overlooked blessings.
That could be a book in and of itself. You reminded me of a story of my own when my son was just, I guess, a teenager. So he was almost at the point where he was going to be going out on his own, and we took a road trip on a camping trip, and we set up a tent, and it was somewhere here in Florida. And it poured that night. And it poured so much that we couldn't have been any wetter if we had jumped in the pool. and I, when you talk about a journal to remember things, or in our case, it was a photograph, I have this photograph of my son standing in the water. And you know what? You don't plan these things, but it was one of the most memorable, most fun memories. And you would never say, let's go on a road trip and be drenched. You would never do that. So I think you're right. It's a blessing to actually have something maybe go wrong. I don't know. It's kind of weird, huh?
Well, so many things do go wrong. So it's a blessing for us to be able to find a silver lining, in that. And we're all racing from, 1 second to the next, and it really is a blessing to slow down and try to disconnect. And
I got to remember this when I'm in my recliner tonight. This is a blessing
and
right
hopefully, yes, in your recliner and not with your telephone. And that's a secret. You turn off the devices and be with the people who you are with, or just be with yourself. But don't have the distraction of the devices. I try to gently take the reader through Simple Abundance, and the fourth grace is harmony, and that's being able to hear yourself complete a sentence, and it's setting limits on technology. As much as we love it, it's really learning how to say, okay, that's enough for today.
And that's what another thing you point out are the obstacles of the different generations.
Absolutely. But when I wrote this, since it was, since younger women had asked me, can you write this for all women? So I had my original audience of boomer women, and I had Generation X, and I had millennials. And this at first was a challenge to find the right voice, but the book always knows more than you do. So my job as a writer is to get out of the way and let the book take over. And then I decided, this is ridiculous that we're all separated with these, descriptions. And so I said, we're all the same. We're mid-century moderns. This is who we are. And because what's happening to boomer women will happen to Generation X and Millennial. And we're rewriting all of the categories that have kept us in one place. So I think mid-century modern is a great way to go forward.
And that's one of the things that keeps resonating throughout your book is that a person has to have an honest observation about themselves, to like themselves, to move forward, and to be able to have relationships with others, whether it be your spouse, friends, children, anything.
Yes, and of course having the relationship with yourself is the hardest thing that you'll ever do. I always think of that Whitney Houston song, "The Greatest Love," and one of the lines in the lyrics says, it's the easiest thing to do, and I always want to say, no, it isn't. It can take you an entire lifetime to learn how to be, your own best friend or your own companion, and it's really wondrous too. When you start listening to yourself in a positive way.
Yeah, and stop looking outward for all the applause and all the good things when you could easily just think of yourself. I love your approach to life. No wonder you were a bestseller. It's back out again after 25 years. Simple Abundance, 365 Days to a Balanced and Joyful Life. And with this, I was also sent the Simple Abundance Journal of Gratitude. Both are hardcover, beautiful books. And I would like to give them both away to one listener. So if you call right now, 622-9622, I will pick one call at random and leave the books here for you at the station. But I need to know, Sarah, what's the best place? I know you're getting rave reviews on Amazon. Is there a different website you'd like us to go to?
You can go to, it looks like sarahvanbreathnach.com. But for Amazon or Barnes & Noble for the book, my personal website there's an official Simple Abundance, and then there's sarahvanbreathnach.com. But that will look to you like sarahvanbreathnach.com.
Sure does. Sure does look like that. yeah. All right, Sarah, what a joy you are to talk to. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day today to speak to us.
Oh, I really enjoyed it, Larry and Robin. It's been delightful. Thank you so much.
I'm going to get my bicycle out again, Robin.
Oh, good.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
Make sure it's not raining.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom